Now, going to the next and final speaker for this session, we have Thanos Belalidis, is the partner of Sympraxis team. Sympraxis team is a very close collaborator for making this forum happening, this digital forum. He's going to talk about the new era in stakeholder communication, right? Because we are now living in a completely different world. So stakeholder engagement and communication is one of the founding principles of sustainability. How this will happen now? What is the new norm? Thanos is, of course, live at our hotel studio here in Edge of Athens Plaza. Thanos, the floor is yours. Thank you very much again for your assistance in making this happen. Thanos has put together a wonderful crew supporting us all day today.
Hello on my part as well. It's a great honor to be a collaborator of Global Sustain. As I have said in previous events as well, if Global Sustain did not exist, we would need to invent it, because the work it does is critical for sustainability in our country and not only in Greece, obviously. What I'm going to talk about is the new normal in stakeholder communication and engagement. What does this mean? In simple words, how our message reaches our audience. This is quite critical in the era that we are going through. Often we feel that using digital media is a fruitful and effective way of communication. We will discuss whether this is true or not. I'm doing sustainability implementation in Sympraxis team, a sustainability agency focused exclusively in sustainability strategy, sustainability communication, and above all, sustainability implementation. The core of our efforts is to help our clients, some of those you can see in my slide, to effectively make things happen, as they say, for the benefit of planet Earth, but also for business. So in the past 18 years, we exist for quite a few years now. We have managed to coordinate more than 400 projects, maybe it is 500 projects now. And also, the value of the projects we have supported most probably has already succeeded, has already become higher than 50 million. So we are very proud of this work. And I'm very proud of the work we have done to do stakeholder engagement, always for sustainability-related projects and social contribution as well. I am an accredited mediator. Probably you know what this means. My job is to assist people communicate effectively. So far, I have supported projects. Sympraxis has supported projects worth about 3 billion. And maybe this sounds quite impressive, but at the end of the day, if you hear what we got paid for these services, that is not that impressive. We have implemented all sorts of stakeholder engagement principles from OECD, the European Union, the World Bank, the UNEP, etc., etc. I'm going to use no information related with these principles. To my understanding, the current reality has a lot of differences, and this is what we are going to talk about. As I said, Sympraxis team is a sustainability implementation, communication, and strategy agency, but we do a lot of stakeholder engagement. This is an event for Benaki Phytopathological Institute. This is the president, Mr. Samaras. He is actually the brother of our former prime minister, with our Minister of Environment, Mr. Hatzidakis. To be politically correct, some more pictures from other events. Quite proud of this event, where I had the opportunity not only to speak with 3 ministers, but also to shake hands. I really miss shake hands, as you probably do as well. And from another political party, former political party, a final picture for one single reason. I just wanted to make sure that I caught your attention, because the next slide practically includes 70% of what I have to share today, which is the fact that efficient stakeholder engagement is not possible during a pandemic era. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michalis. That's the end of my presentation. Okay, I'm joking. Maybe there are stuff to learn within the frame of the period we are going through. But the fact remains that efficient stakeholder engagement is not that possible these days, for very simple reasons we are going to discuss in the forthcoming slides. To start with, though, we need to let things be specific and straight. So I want to share some facts and figures that I consider quite important. To start with, the most important thing is the fact that people multitask while being online. So we are very happy that there are all these digital tools, we WebEx, we Zoom, and we are very happy about this. But I'm not so sure that this is efficient and effective at the end of the day. According to a small research I did within our clients, and these are people that were willing to talk quite honestly, about 83% multitasks during being on meetings of all sorts. The numbers are even more impressive. 91% of people multitask while being on trainings. So at the end of the day, it's quite logical that our message, whether we simply organize a meeting to get things done, or whether we organize a stakeholder engagement facility, venue, the fact remains that people will most probably will not hear our message, or will simply hear a percentage of that. Also, people have the power. What does this mean? We live in a democracy, the European Commission. Stakeholder engagement is critical in Europe. And this is data actually before the COVID era. It's data up to, let's say, January or February of 2020. Some European Commission data practically says that out of 173 projects of common interest, we have worked in several projects of common interest in the past, only 70% came true. The rest of them did not. For those that live in Greece, we are very familiar with major projects that never come true because local populations don't want them to. A very strong example in this respect is renewable energy. So many wind turbine projects never come true simply because the local population doesn't want wind turbines in their region. And the next critical information that I need to share in this respect is how important it is to discuss with our stakeholders before starting a project, simply because if we don't, it's very possible that our project will never come true, will not take the accreditation that we want it to, or it will never really be known. And this is especially important in the European Commission in Europe, which is our actual country. Other facts and figures that I consider very important in the area we are going through. We all know that the internet is not a safe area. We all know that people cheat with their personalities. We know that people appear to be male while being female, and vice versa. And maybe that doesn't matter so much. What matters even more than that is the fact that you can really cheat even with visual personalities on the internet. Guys, can you please help me run my video? Just press play, please. And if I can dub it and speak on top. Okay. I hope you can hear this video. Is President Obama. I don't know if you have seen it before. If you can carry on playing it. It's very important not to disturb President Obama as he speaks, but we are at this moment. Okay? Is it on? Please start it from 1/3 of the video. Excellent.
Enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or how about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now,
if I can speak on top of these guys,
it's not in a public address, but someone else would.
As you will see, this is not a real video. It's an imposter, actually. And maybe you have heard of deep fake. It's so easy to cheat on the internet. And this is quite important to take into consideration in the times we are going through during stakeholder engagement. You will say, but why? Let me proceed with the next video. I will not play a video in this respect, actually. I'll run my presentation. A new term is coming to our realities, which is Zoom fatigue. Zoom fatigue means that we are bored of being on online meetings, and what we do is multitask, do other stuff while people think that we participate. One amazing thing that I will let you research on your own, because I want to save some time for a couple of more videos, is the fact that nowadays there are tools, AI tools, that let you participate on a Zoom or WebEx meeting and really not being there. Programs that allow you to give answers while you are not really there. And believe it or not, I used this myself yesterday. I did some very basic programming. I created a video of myself with my actual camera on my computer saying, hello, it's excellent seeing everybody today. And then I nodded my head, I said, I scratched my head for a bit of time. And I played this during a meeting. It was a 25 people meeting, so I wasn't that necessary in this specific meeting. And it kept looping, and I was present while doing other things. So this is a bit of additional information about how difficult stakeholder engagement it is in our era, how important it is to realize that things are not as effective as we think. And without further delay, I'll get to the fact that there are worse things than COVID. What can be worse than COVID? To my understanding, worse than COVID is the fact that we are becoming a depressed planet. Depression has doubled in the UK. It has doubled in the US in the past 9 months. I don't know if there are data available about Greece, but the audience we are addressing with our stakeholder engagement efforts suffers depression in a significant percentage. Nobody knows exactly what this percentage is. All we know is that it's increasing rapidly. What else we know that increases rapidly? Anger. We are angry. We behave towards each other in an angry fashion, and this is not very helpful in stakeholder engagement. What else we know? We know that we miss what is physically important. I mentioned earlier on how much I miss shaking hands. We miss hugging each other. Maybe you're familiar with the work of this American scientist that said that we require about 4 hugs a day just to survive. And you all know about stories about babies that simply die because they don't get hugged in orphanages. And there are definitely outcomes from this situation. I don't really know what the outcomes is, but for the first time, I take this research into strong consideration. The fact, this is an Endemol research that says that these days, brand response to the crisis will have a huge impact on my likelihood to buy that brand in the future. People say that the way you treat the world, the society, will impact whether I buy your products or not. And also, so people expect us to contribute, those working in corporations, in companies, people expect us to significantly contribute to the solution of the pandemic. And also people say on a 71% level that brands and companies that I see placing their profits before people during the crisis will lose my trust forever. All this stands for our stakeholder engagement processes as well. If we don't do a good job in our sustainability and social contribution efforts, there will be an impact on our sales. And it's the first time that I understand and agree with this. Some success principles as time runs. A very important thing. We think that the world of internet is a paradise where everything works just fine. No, it doesn't. Be very careful about the tools that you use. WebEx and Zoom may be efficient, even though there have been doubts about Zoom safety these days. But Teams or Skype Business or Skype, I would reevaluate using these tools in my stakeholder engagement communication. Simply remember that so many corporations still use Skype Business, and this is a discontinued program. It's not out in the market anymore. You cannot buy it because it doesn't work well anymore, and we still use it. What else? Please remember that communication is 7% verbal. The rest of our message comes from our body language, from our vibrations, things that cannot be projected through a WebEx tool, a Zoom tool. So we are losing a lot of communication efficiency when we do stakeholder engagement. At least make sure that you use tools that are functional and efficient. I love virtual events like this one, where speakers are on a studio and we broadcast to the 300 participants that follow today's meeting This is much better. Be very careful with tools like Teams that are not designed for communication. They are designed for collaboration. Some very important detail that I failed to explain to my clients how important it is, and this is disclose everything. There is a mistake in this phrase. Actually, the correct one is engage proactively and respond instead of responding reactively. This, in simple words, means all you have to say about sustainability, all you have to say about your efforts, about your facts and figures, be honest, share them, don't generalize, don't say how much you care for the environment and that you contribute to society if you cannot be specific, simply because people can tell, as I will prove in my forthcoming slides. Also, nobody cares about what a good job you do. And it's a big mistake, a failure to focus in this message when you do stakeholder engagement. What people care about is the benefits you produce for their life. So if you want to do effective stakeholder engagement, it's important to focus on this. Help people realize how you enhance their lives, the quality of their lives. And it's important to take it easy during this communication. If Albert Einstein would do that, and that means that we can do it. If this guy can have this amazing haircut, I guess we can be more chilled in our communications, if for no other reason, remembering that people are angry and they don't want to see stiff people in stakeholder engagement communication. What else? Please remember that humans follow humans. Humans do not follow brands. This is a great example that I love of a teacher of mine, John Legere. I don't know if you know him, the CEO of T-Mobile until recently that his term ended. This guy, John Legere, would spend about 6 hours a day on the social media communicating with with his clients. And this was the fastest growing telecommunication company in the States in the years of his management. Also, he had his own cooking program every Sunday. And I don't want to focus only in huge corporations like T-Mobile. In Sympraxis team, we relatively do the same. We have our communication channels, but we also focus in the individuals, in the partners that run the organization, like myself. This is one of my Facebook posts that I honor very regularly on every week basis. Have a quick look on that. 966 people liked my stakeholder engagement effort in this respect, in this sustainability respect. On the second picture you see in this slide, this is the director of Greenpeace Greece. I take quite a few interviews of significant people in the sustainability field. And I never talk about Sympraxis, I never talk about myself, I only promote their message because this is what people want to hear about. Getting close to the end of my presentation, I'm going to run another video. Guys, I think I can do this on my own. No? Can you press play, please? I don't know if you have seen this presentation as well, this video, this advertisement actually. I find it very important. It came out quite recently in the COVID era, in Black Lives Matter era. This is a company that behaves as a human being, as an individual, and it doesn't do it only once or only in a couple of videos. It does it all the time. Guys, if you can promote, move the video forward a bit more, so that we can go closer to the end. Please carry on more. That's enough. Don't sit back and silent. Don't think you cannot be part of the solution. Be part of the change. And who is speaking? This is actually Nike. I didn't just want to play this video for you to promote Nike or what a good job they do. I wanted to emphasize of how important it is to act as an individual when you do a stakeholder engagement for sustainability. This is Adidas sharing this video on Twitter, which I find shocking, amazing. And then this is Nike answering to Adidas, thanking it with a heart. I find this amazing stakeholder engagement communication that makes sense in the challenging times we go through. I have another 3 or 4 slides to complete. I hope that I have enough time, Michalis. I will not wait for you to reply. I will carry on. The important thing of effective communication within the frame of stakeholder engagement is simple. Score low in ego and high on empathy. Remember that you are dealing with human beings, not robots. And also remember that their brains are more than capable to evaluate whether you are lying or not, whether your facts and figures are actual or not. And this happens through the limbic brain that we have forgotten its importance. The core of our brain, what we call gut feeling, is not actually in our guts, it's in our heads. And our heads can always tell whether the people that are contacting us are telling the truth or not. So another provoking slide. I hope you see President Trump. I used it on purpose so that in case you got tired and preparing for your meal to wake up a bit. And what I want to share with the slide is the fact that there is so much to learn from President Trump. And the most important thing to learn is the simplicity of his message. President Trump says, let's make America great again. He doesn't say, let's make America exquisite again. He always uses simple words that are so important in stakeholder engagement so that people can receive your message. And also, something that I repeat already, building trust, it takes a lot of time and effort. It cannot happen overnight. It takes a year of effort. But if you manage to do it, it can be very fruitful. An example I love very much is from Costa Navarino. You probably know this hotel. You already know that so many big development plans in Greece never become a reality simply because there is so much public opposition. How was Costa Navarino built? And this is actually my final slide. It was built, and it's a successful project, simply because its owner, a couple of decades ago, Mr. Konstantopoulos, would turn around the villages of Messinia, discussing his dream, discussing his purpose about building an amazing hotel destination in the region. So it came true without any reactions. So to sum up, stakeholder engagement is very challenging, it's very difficult. As far as I'm concerned, almost impossible in this era that we are going through, in the COVID era. There are a lot of stuff you can do to improve going out with your message. That includes using the right tools. Be careful. For example, this virtual meeting, it's much more efficient than using a WebEx or Zoom meeting alone. Second, remember that we are human beings addressing human beings. It's very important to be specific with our facts and figures, making sense. Remember that it takes a lot of time to build trust, and at the end of the day, just make sure that you acknowledge the fact that you are addressing humans that are capable to evaluate whether your message is genuine or not. Genuine or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Thanos, for your presentation and for keeping the time, actually, from people's lunch break. One question I have for you, and it's a personal one. Don't take it personally, though. We've been collaborating for this forum for the last 3 years, I would say, so physically, and this is our first one digitally. Many challenges, I have to admit. I want to ask you, what's the future of this? This is our 9th year. Is this like the norm? This is how we're going to do it for the next years? Are we going to have, again, 150 people in the room, and we're going to have another 200 online? We've registered 300 people. I can see roughly there are 150, 170 connected all the time. What's your advice for me as an entrepreneur? How shall I plan the future of my events?
The most important thing is that 150 people still remain online, and this is not easy for reasons that I explained, and you have the same number of people as last year being present in this meeting. This is the most important thing. My own opinion about your question is very simple. I believe that this will finish. It will not finish as fast as we wanted to, but observing our past as a civilization, this has happened before. It may happen again, and we have to be prepared. And there are 2 ways to be prepared. First of all, if we can have a physical meeting, as far as I'm concerned, it's critically important to do so. Within the pandemic, following the guidelines about COVID, we did a lot of physical meetings. I mean, in July, in August, early September, and we will carry on once the opportunity is given. Now it is not. But at the same time, we will stop being technologically illiterate, as many of us are, in order to do such events. And this is a great success as far as I'm concerned, because we are still here, our message is broadcasted. Next time it will be even better, but we must excel in this respect and keep both options in our hands and adapt to whatever we have to, whether it is a physical meeting or a virtual meeting, because there are no other options at the moment.
So we have to become more technology literate, right?
Yes.
And digital. And so we can adopt these new technologies, because to the best of my understanding, it's going to be this hybrid dual phygital mode for the years to come, right?
I fully agree. And I also, as I said already, I believe that we are digitally illiterate. And I play some examples, whether we like it or not. Skype Business is a discontinued tool, and so many people still use it. Things like this have to change.
Okay. Thanos, thank you very much again for your presentation and your support. We'll end here for a short break, not short, it's like 45 minutes. We will be here again 3:15 local Athens time. And we have two very interesting and important presentations after the break with your afternoon coffee. It's how environmental markets operate. We're going to have the CEO and founder of the Carbon Trade Exchange broadcasting from London. He's going to talk about carbon offsets, carbon neutrality, the ESG, how carbon markets operate, selling, buying carbon credits, especially with the taxonomy, EU taxonomy and other tools that they have developed. It's going to be very interesting. And last, we have a panel with EBRD executives. We're going to talk about environmental social risks, and we also about green economy financing facility and the tools that one of the largest investors in Greece is applying, how money can come into this country. See you soon. Thank you.